Hello, my friends. I hope you're having an excellent day. So, today is our weekly quick hit tip of the week, and often it's just what I've been thinking about for the week. And this week, I was thinking a lot about overwhelm and how it manifests in different ways in the world, in our lives. And have a listen. Let me know what you think. And if you are feeling overwhelmed, my friend, reach out a hand. To a friend or to a loved one or to anyone, to me, there's no reason you have to suffer. I hope you have a great day. Take care. I'll see you soon. Hi, my friends. Welcome. This is the Back to Me podcast, and this is Heather, and I am super excited that you're here. You are going to hear some tips and some tricks and some ideas to help you live your happiest and healthiest self. I call it Back to Me because when you are taking care of yourself, back to me, then you can take better care of others, and we can all make the world a better place. This is Wellness Your Way, and I am super happy that you're here. I love when the little sign comes up and says, "You are live." Hello, my friend. How are you? I hope you're having an awesome day. This is Heather. This is the Back to Me podcast Wednesday edition, which means just quick. I'm just going to come in quick and say hi and give you some ideas and give you some thoughts of the week, maybe. And this week was interesting. So I don't actually usually decide in advance what I'm going to talk about. That might, for some people, I'm sure that would be very stressful. But I wait for divine inspiration for the weekly, the Wednesday weeklies, just so I can pop in and say, this is what I thought of this week. And somehow it's life delivers. Life delivers thoughts to me on a regular basis. Sometimes I joke around with people that I'm an ideas doula, that there are constantly ideas trying to be born inside of my head, and I can't give birth to all of them. So I give them away for other people to raise. So if you're ever having a shortage of ideas, just give me a call. We could like birth a whole bunch of ideas. But this week, I guess it was last week, something happened. So if you're in Canada, you're well aware that one of our major cross-country, not only internet, but an internet and communications provider went down. Not just not like when Facebook went down for, 6 or 8 hours. This is like it went down for a long period, and some people were without for days. And lots of thoughts, of course, came into my head. One was like, we've created in some ways such a huge complex system that one little thing who knows what it was. I mean, regular people may never really know what happened, but one little thing could knock the system off kilter. And it made me think about overwhelm. So something happened. I feel like something happened that overwhelmed the system. Kind of like it was over 20 years ago, I think, that the whole power grid went down for a period of time, because one little thing too much, it's the straw that broke the camel's back. One thing too much, the whole thing shut down. And that's what I think of when I think of overwhelm. And this week I was thinking about overwhelm, and it was just interesting that so conveniently this large communications provider provided me a really good perspective on what overwhelm can do to people. It can cause a massive shutdown and where everything stops working. But sometimes we don't know when we're overwhelmed, right? Sometimes I liken it to like you've got your blinders on, you're a speeding train, you're out of control. You don't know you're out of control. You're a speeding train and you're headed here. You're going forward. You're going to this destination, and you don't see the little add-ons of what's potentially getting you to overwhelm and burnout. And that's not a pleasant place to be. I have been burnt out. there was a job that I had at one point where I was working so hard. I was working so hard, and I had this determination. I have a single-minded stubbornness. I'm sure if my mother's listening, she will vouch to this. I have a single-minded stubbornness for some things. And I had lost my own perspective and I couldn't see the exit ramps. And I got to the point where I actually had to leave that job because I I was hitting the wall. I could not do anymore. And it took me, I don't even know if I've, even right now, I don't know that I ever fully have gotten back to that level of effort and energy. And that might actually be a good thing. So, not that I'm recommending you use burnout as a way to reset your priorities and your clock, but I've never ramped myself up to that level again because it was a terrible thing and it took me a long time to recover. I had to change jobs. I had to find a whole new way of being and still trying to be who I wanted to be and do what I wanted to do, but changing it. And believe it or not, it wasn't when I left accounting. I was just going from one finance position to another. When I left finance finally to go into the wellness space, I actually wasn't burnt out. I was just knew that I needed to leave. But some signs that you're overwhelmed. So there's lots of signs that you're overwhelmed, and it's different for everyone. And they can start small, and you might not realize it's happening, right? Um, but things about think about, maybe you're getting forgetful. We often use, oh, I'm just, it comes with age. Not always. Sometimes it's just because you're trying to keep track of too many things. There's too many balls in the air. Maybe confusion is coming in. Maybe you're having trouble concentrating. Maybe when you're in bed at night, you can't stop your mind from going, right? I was talking to someone recently who stayed up all night because she was trying to think of something. And I said, oh my gosh, just, I mean, my tactic for when my brain wants to solve something is like when I'm trying to sleep, I just say, okay, I just ask my subconscious to solve it and let me go to sleep and just tell me while I'm asleep what the answer is or when I wake up. That's a whole different podcast. But if you feel like your heart is racing, maybe you have aches and pains that you think, oh, that's just a normal part of life. Maybe it's not a part of life. Are you getting sick all the time? Are you getting tension headaches? Are you cranky? Here's a really good one. Are you cranky? Are you annoyed, frustrated easily? Right? I know that every now and then I will hear this voice come out of me, and I think because I meditate, I can, part of my consciousness steps back and thinks, who is being cranky and why are you being so cranky? That doesn't mean I can stop being cranky, but it gives me an awareness of, wow, I'm really cranky. I wonder why that is. And I start to self-examine why I'm cranky. But maybe it's even something as simple like you're acting like a jerk all the time and you don't like being that person. Maybe you're having difficulty sleeping. Maybe you're telling yourself negative self-talk things. All of these things take an awareness of what's going on for you, and a measuring stick. So you can say, well, yeah, but I'm always like that. Well, then maybe that's just not that you're a jerk or anything all the time. Don't use that one. But it has to be, everything is relative to something else. So if you are normally one way, or you understand yourself to be one way, and then you start to see these different things coming in, that could be a sign that you're starting to become overwhelmed. And that's not a judgment on you at all. Overwhelmed, but especially in the last, I don't want to name it, 2 years, it's not something that you should feel bad about ever. I mean, we often, and I'm going to speak to my female friends specifically, often take on lots of responsibilities because we think that, well, if I don't do it, it won't get done. I was just talking to someone earlier who said when she knows she's going away, she fills the fridge with food because she feels like um, she doesn't want to, have her partner have the burden of trying to feed the children, and she's afraid that they won't get fed while she's not there, knowing that it's irrational. But We take things on, we add things to our to-do list so that somebody else doesn't have to do it, or we think it's not going to get done. We need to make sure that we are the go-to person to make sure it's done right. All of those things will pile up and pile up and pile up. And at some point, you can only pile so many things on and things will start to slip, which is why forgetfulness comes, which is why maybe confusion comes in, which is why you can start to get cranky because you're trying to hold all of this steady and somebody's poking you. Remember Facebook when it first had pokes? Be like, stop poking me. I'm trying to do stuff. And if you're not sleeping, my gosh, if you're not sleeping properly, I mean, that's a huge one that can knock you off your center. And I always talk about wellness because that's my jam. That's one of my most important topics in life. Because if you don't take care of yourself, um, then you're not going to be able to be the person that you want to be and do the things you want to do and take care of the people you want to take care of. So that's why I talk about overwhelm today. That's why I'm talking about overwhelm today. And one of the best ways to maybe um, recognize when it's happening to you is if you're not sure about it, just ask someone close to you who's not going to judge you or give you a hard time. Just say, I'm feeling like this has been happening. Have you been seeing this? Or have you noticed any changes in me? And if they're honest with you, I mean, I've asked my partner because I have an agreement with him. He's allowed to tell me. If I say to him, do I seem like I'm cranky today? He will tell me, and I won't get mad at him. He will tell me, well, yeah, you're a bit cranky today, right? So it's okay. And that's not a way to increase your negative self talk. That's just a way for you to say, okay, there's something going on. I'm a little overwhelmed. What is it that's happening? Is there something that I can do right now to slow things down, to change my trajectory, to release some things that maybe I'm feeling like I have to do? But if you can step back and take a really good look at it, like if you have your to do list and you look at it, you say, do I really have to do that? There's lots of things that we feel like we have to do, but do you really have to? And take some of those things off your list. You can shove them over onto another list. I call it my to do later list. So I don't forget them because I don't want my brain to be stuck trying to keep track of these things. So I have lists to keep track of things so I don't lose track. But think about what can you do to put on the brakes even a little bit to help you out. And that taking time to breathe is a good one. I'm going to tell you right now, I realized recently that since my stroke in October, some days I forget that I had it, but in the afternoon, I become exhausted if I haven't been careful. So I've actually started to book into my calendar. It says rest. So my calendar is blocked and nothing is allowed to go there. And I'm going to honor myself and take responsibility for my health and wellness. And everyone knows who is trying to book into my calendar while they can't. And my partner knows that rest is booked and he can't come and talk to me when I'm resting. So for me, that's what I need. I still need a rest point in the afternoon while my brain still recovers. And I have noticed that I do get a little overwhelmed a little bit easier than I used to 6, 7 months ago. So that's okay. I'm okay with that. I've just got a new world I'm working with. And that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way because I get better every day. But I'm going to honor my process. So, my friend, your takeaway for today is check in, press pause, even just for 5 minutes with yourself to take stock of how you're feeling. I mean, your body will tell you how you're feeling if you stop and check in with it. Just check in with someone who you trust to have a conversation with. Like, do you notice that I'm seeming more stressed than usual. And if it's happening, take your to-do list. You probably have one. Everybody's got one, mostly. I don't know anyone who doesn't have one. Figure out where can you put on some brakes and just slow your train down a little bit and take some time to recharge your batteries. Even if it's 20 minutes in the middle of the afternoon, oh my gosh, it can make such a difference. My friends, don't be Rogers. Those of you who know what I'm referring to. And don't be Rogers. Don't become overwhelmed and crash your whole system, because recovering from that takes so much time. I wish you well, of course. I wish you all the health and happiness. I wish you the most fabulous life that you can possibly dream of. And you can have it. Of course you can have it. I am Heather. This is the Back to Me podcast. If you ever want to connect with me, if you wanted to talk about overwhelm, hey, let's have a talk. You can reach me in all social channels, which will be posted in the show notes, etc. And I hope you have an amazing day. Tune in on Friday for our celebrity chat. The celebrity chat is super amazing. It's this woman who does intuitive readings, Reiki, and coaching. And it's such an interesting combination. So tune in. Take care, my friend. I will see you next week. Take care. Hi, my friend. Thanks so much for listening to this entire podcast. If you found it useful and you're like me and you like helping others, please feel free to share this. Give it a like, give it a comment. If you found something useful in it, there's a chance that someone else will find something useful as well. Also, if you have any questions at all, I can absolutely help, and I would love to help. You can email me at heather@prosperityflowcoaching.com. If you want more of this awesome content, you can follow me on Instagram, Heather Stewart Coaching. You can follow me on Facebook, Prosperity Flow Coaching. And I have a personal request. I want to help as many people as I can with these podcasts. And if you could give me a review, hopefully a good one, if you could share, if you could send this out into the world, I would truly appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope that you find your way to wellness by getting back to me. Take care, my friend.